Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the book of Isaiah. I finished chapter 4 and part of chapter 5. I'm going to move on to the last part of chapter 5, and then if possible, just start chapter 6. But probably I think chapter 5, I'll finish that first. I'm going to read it. Therefore, the grave enlarges its appetite and opens its mouth without limit. Into it will descend their nobles and masses. With all their brawlers and revilers, so man will be brought low and mankind humbled. The eyes of the arrogant humbled, but the Lord Almighty will be exalted by his justice. And the holy God will show himself holy by his righteousness. Then sheep will graze as in their own pasture, lambs will feed among the ruins of the rich. Woe to those who draw sin along with cords of deceit, and wickedness as with cart ropes. To those who say, "Let God hurry, let him hasten his work, so we may see it. Let it approach, let the plan of the Holy One of Israel come, so we may know it." Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight. Woe to those who are heroes at drinking wine and champions at mixing drinks, who acquit the guilty for a bribe, but deny justice to the innocent. Therefore, as tongue of fire lick up straw, and as dry grass sinks down in the flames, so their roots will decay and their flowers blow away like dust. For they have rejected the law of the Lord Almighty, and spurned the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore the Lord's anger burns against his people, his hand is raised and he strikes them down. The mountains shake, and the dead bodies are like refuse in the streets. Yet for all this his anger is not turned away, his hand is still upraised. He lifts up a banner for the distant nations, he whistles for those at the ends of the earth. Here they come, swiftly and speedily, no one of them grows tired or stumbles, not one slumbers or sleeps. Not a belt is loosened at the waist, not a scandal thorn is broken. Their arrows are sharp, all their bows are strong. Their horses' hoofs seem like flint, their chariots' wheels like a whirlwind. Their roar is like that of the lion, they roar like young lions. They growl as they seize their prey and carry it off with no one to rescue. In that day they will roar over it like the roaring of the sea, and if one looks at the land, he will see darkness and distress. Even the light will be darkened by the clouds. So this is the end of chapter 5. Continuously with the beginning of the chapter 5 says the son of the vineyard. Use a parable, talk about this vineyard. It looks very good, and even though this the owner of the vineyard worked hard to nurture it, to maintain it, but there's nothing grow out of it. There's no fruits, and so then the owner turned to God to. So that's the beginning of this chapter, and then vows and the judgments talk about the judgment of the God they believe, and mentioned about the woman, and also mentioned about the vineyard, mentioned about the drinks. So continuously, therefore, the grave enlarges its appetite and opens its mouth without limit. Into it will descend their nobles and the masses, with all their brawlers and revilers. So this is saying that if this the sin quotation mark is too massive, beyond the limit, God will be angry and cause this kind of swallow the earth. So man will be brought low and mankind humbled. humbled, the eyes of the arrogant humbled. So this is saying the mankind will be brought low by whom, or by the nature, or by the whoever species they are. But so man will, but the Lord Almighty will be exalted by His justice, and holy God will show Himself holy by His righteousness. Then sheep will graze at their own pasture, lambs will feed among the ruins of the rich. So the mankind will brought low. However, the chosen people probably from the God will exalted along the God are the people. While to those who draw sin along with cords of deceit and wickedness, as with cart ropes, to those who say, "Let God hurry, let Him hasten His work, so we may see it. Let it approach, let the plan of the Holy One of Israel come, so we may know it." So this is, if you recall, this people asking for the miraculous signs, if you call it later a time, in the Jesus time, He mentioned the people just demanding this special signs from the world, the heart of the world, want to see something real. So, and this is probably the same idea, to hasten the God, which means I want to see the God work. So this is one of the wows. And woe to those who call evil good or good evil. Upside down, the world is upside down. The dark is light, the light is dark. This has been, I think, probably since ancient time. Just sometimes not that dim, sometimes not that gloomy, but still dark is light, light is dark. It's just the reality of the world, I guess. So, but this is the vow that God does not like it, probably. Woe to those who call evil good, good evil. And woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sights. So this is probably arrogance. Those people think they're nobler than the others, they are more arrogant than the others. But as a matter of fact, everyone, regardless whether it's in church or not church or any other places, a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone, but many. Woe to those who are heroes at drinking wine, champions at mixing drinks, who equate guilt for bribe and deny justice to innocent. So these are another vows for those injustice. Therefore, as tongues of fire lick up straw, as straw clouds sinking down the flames, so their roots will be decayed, their flowers blown away like dust, for they reject the law of the God, the spurns and the word of holy ones of Israel. Therefore, the Lord's anger burns against His people. His hand is raised, and He is striking them down. So this thing, therefore, there's the Leviathans. If you recall in the Psalm, there's a word, there's a monster called Leviathans, spraying the flame to burn the world. So this is saying that if that's the case, the God will bring the justice, and regardless what you can do, but eventually I think the God, particularly for those holding the power of God, but does not do the godly things. So in the Bible, there's so many people like that. So then here He lifted out the banner for the distant, and He whistles for those at the end of the earth. Here they come, swiftly, speedily, not one of grown tired of stumbles. And these are saying what, in that day they will roll over to like a roaring of the sea. And if one looks at the land, he will see darkness and distress. Even the light will be darkened by the cloud. So this is saying that what happened if people keep doing this kind of things. But this is the world. There is always a way. God is always there. I think probably that's the message. Regardless of what's happening, how many wows is here, but eventually God is there. I'm going to stop here. I think it's longer than I thought. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.